Hello everyone and welcome to Learn with Saad. In this video we are going to learn about SURDS, and the first thing we will learn in SURD is multiplying and dividing the SURDS. So if you have root A times root B, here we are timing two things which are in SURDS form. What we can do, we can write them together. Let's say we go root 5 times root 3. So what we can do, we can write them together under 1/3. 5 times 3. So in the next step, it's 5 times 3 is 15. Clear? So if you have root 5 times root 3, we can write them together under 1/3. 5 times 3 equals to 15. So this is one rule of the third one. So now let's look at another example. If you have root 7 times root 7, what we can do, we can times them together. 7 times 7 is we now 49. Also we now root 49 is 7. How root 49 is 7? Basically the third, this third form has a value of half as a power. Yes, half as a power. So if in this question root 49, I can write it as 7 to the power half. Reason, 49 to the power half. Reason, because that third has a value of half. So then we can simplify root from there. 49 I can write it as 7 square and then the half. Next step, we can cancel 2 and 2, which gives us 7 as an answer. So that's how you get from root 49 to 7. So all that is just an explanation of how we get from root 49 to 7. Once again, in multiplying surds, what you can do, you can combine them together only in multiplication. You can write them root 5 times root 3 as 5 times root 3 is okay. It gives us root 15. Same for the next one, root 7 times root 7. We can combine them, which gives us 49. After that, what we need to do is we need to simplify it. Let me explain you this part, the power part, and this part a little bit more in more detail. Let's say if you go or you have root A, we can write square root A as a to the power half. It's same because root A, the square root, carries the power as a half. So writing square root A or A to the power 1/2 is same. It means it's both are equal to each other. Just like 4 square equals to 16. Yep. Similarly, root A equals to A to the power half. In this multiplication one, sometimes you will come across questions where you will have root 12 only, and they will ask you to simplify it. What they're going to ask you is to simplify it. In order to simplify it, what we need to do is we can split 12 into two different numbers. Like I can write root 12 as 4 times 3. Same as writing 12. And then after that, I can also write root 4 times 3 as root 4 times root 3. Now I can simplify it. I now root 4 is 2 square, and then I can't simplify root 3, this one, second one anymore, so I can simply write it next to 2. 2 root 3 would be our answer. This is how we multiply surds in 2 different ways. The way one I did previously was when I was using root a times b, combining 2 different surds when they are timings with each other. So in this second example, I have it in this form, root 12. So what I can do, I can split it into 2. In this thing, what I'm trying while splitting, one square root, right, root for number should be able to come out of the square root. Should be able to, like, root 4 times 3. Look at another example. If you have root 27, in order to split it, I can 9 times 3 is 27. Next step, just split it a bit further. Root 9 times root 3. We all know root 9 is just 3. And we can't do anything with root 3. We would just write root 3 as it is. Next one we have is on division. When you need to divide 2 surds, root a divided by root b. That's the general form. There can be anything. I'll show you some example as well. Root a over root b, what we can do, we can write them together as a over b in just 1 surd. With 1 surd, we can, just like we did for multiplication, we had 2 square roots, root a and root b. What we did, we combine them together and write it under 1 surd. So similarly, we can do the same for the division one. Root a over root b equals to root a over b. One example I can give you here. If we got root 40 divided by root 10, you can write it in fractional form as well, like root 40 over root 10. And then in the next step, exactly just like it's shown here, I can write it the 1 surd, 40 over 10. Yeah. Very next step, what you can do is you can simplify it. We know that 40 divided by 10 is just 4. What I've just simplified it, and square root 4 equals to 2. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, only when you practice it. Yep, only when you
practice it.
One more example, if you have root 80 divided by root 10. Again, the first step would be to write it within 1 surd. Then I'm going to simplify that. 80 divided by 10 is just 8. Yeah. Now, can I simplify that? Root 8. Yes, we can. Why not? We just learned in multiplication. I can write root 8 as 4 times 2, which is 8. And then square root 4 times square root 2. Next step, I now root 4, write it as 2. Root 2 would be our answer. Yeah.
Please remember to break down into factors. One of them needs to be a square number. Then write as 2 roots multiplied together and then evaluate.
These are the 3 steps you need to do when you are doing surds, and when simplifying them or timings them or dividing them. Please always remember these steps. Let's look at question number this one, root 12. So what we need to do, first,
break down into factors.
So I'm going to break down into factors. Root 12, I can write it as
4 times 3.
4 times 3. And then, what's the next step? One of the number needs to be a square number. So which one is a square number in this one?
4.
4. Oh, nice. Root 4 times root 3. So this root 4 is a square number. In the remainder thing we have it. Then the next step, 2 root 3. Now the next question is one of my students is going to do and show how you need to do it. So root 300. So what, Meher, tell what the first thing you would do?
You need to break down into factors.
And one of them needs to be a square number. So 300, what two numbers you can think of?
30 and 10.
30 and 10, but 30 and 10 doesn't come out. Why don't you do 103?
Yeah.
Yeah, just write down, please. 100 times 3. Now what you do next step? One of the number needs to be a square number. So 100 is a square number of 10. So you can write it separately just like we did it for the question number 1. 100 times root 3.
And then 100.
Square root of 100. Yeah, speak a bit louder, please. So
square root of 100 is 10.
Yeah, just write 10 underneath it, please. 10 root 3. Amazing. Good work.
For this question, you combine 2 times 40, so that it will be 80.
Bit loud, Meher, please. Okay. So, in the first step, what Meher has done is she has combined the two square roots together. Now, she got up to root 80. So, what's the next step, Meher, you're going to do in this one?
Find two numbers with
loud,
two
please.
factors of 80, and one has to be a square number.
Brilliant. So, what are the two factors you think of?
4 and 20.
Yeah, please write that down. Root 20, and then you can simplify in the next one.
The square root of 4 is 2.
Yeah.
And you leave 20 as it is.
As it is.
So that's your final answer.
Final answer. So guys, now let me do the next two questions as well for you. Root 12 times 3 is 36. So when you do 12 times 3, it gives us 36. Then root 36 is simply 6. That's our answer. Come to the third one. In third one, what we see, 5 times 15. The 5 times 15 is 75. Now, in the next step, what I'm going to do, I'm going to split it into two, where one number factor should be a square number. Like 75, I can write it as root 25 times 3. 25 times root 3 is 75. So square root of 25 is 5, and root 3 as it is. We can't do anything with root 3. It's already in the simplified form. That would be our answer. The first two questions, now you guys should be able to do it yourself. So I'm just going to do the third one, which is slightly different. Square root 49 over 36. Now in this one, you can do it like root 49 and root 36. Now square root of 49 is
7.
And the square root of 36 is
6.
7 over 6. That would be our answer. So guys, I've explained everything about multiplying and dividing the SURDS. The reason I spent so much time on it, if you don't understand all these multiplication and division of SURD, you will struggle with the next topic on SURD. So please make sure you write down all these questions on your notebook and practice them as many times as you can. And same advice from Meher.
Keep doing these questions again and again until you're very good at it.
And confident.
And confident.
Amazing.
And amazing.
And learn with?
With Learn with Saad.
The next topic in SURD is adding and subtracting the SURDs. How we add and subtract the SURDs is completely different to multiplying or dividing them. What you need to do when you are adding or subtracting them, you need to make sure that you are adding or subtracting like terms. Like term, when I say that the term inside the SURD needs to be exactly same. Like 4 root 5 plus 6 root 3, and then what parts you need to add is 4 and 6. You're not gonna do anything with the root 5. So 4 plus 6, how we add is we add this term, 4 and 6 is 4 plus 6 is 10, and then we write root 5 as it is. So that would be our answer. So we don't do anything with root 5. We don't write it as 10 root 10. No, that would be wrong. So please only first check if you have the like SURDs, like in this one, root 5 and root 5. Then after that, whatever is to the left of the SURD, you're going to add those two numbers together. 4 plus 6 gives us 10 root 5. Same for the subtraction. In subtraction, nothing changes. You got to follow the same method for the subtraction as well. Root 3, first thing, please always check root 3 and root 3 both are same. And what I can do is 12 minus 2 gives me 10, and then just write root 3 as it is. So compared to multiplication, it's very easy to evaluate SURDs using adding and subtracting SURDs. Let's look at the next example, number 3, root 12 plus 2 root 27. Can I simplify root 27? Yes, I can. Let's try to simplify that first, please. And for root 12 as well. So root 12, I can write it as 4 times 3 plus root 27 as 9 times 3. Yeah. In the next step, I can write it as root 4 times root 3 plus 2 into root 9 times root 3. Yeah, all clear? All this step we learn in the first section of the video. Next, simplify that, please. Root 4 is 2, root 3 plus, we have 2 already there, and I now root 9, I can write it as 3, and then the last one, root 3 as it is. Then 2 times 3 I now is 6 root 3, and we have 2 root 3. So I have simplified or evaluated root 12 plus 2 root 27, split them down, break them down, and now in the end I got root 3 plus root 3, both two same terms. So we can't add it just straight like that, root 12 plus root 27, because the terms inside, or they were not like SURDs, so we had to simplify it to check it if we can get into the same form SURDs. So root 3 same. Then now what you're going to do, you're going to implement or do the same method which you did for question number 1 and 2. 2 plus 6 is 8 root 3. That's how you add SURD. So this question is slightly hard, which is okay. You need to do difficult questions as well. Now the last one, please pay full attention. In this one you can see that root 5 and root 7 are different and we can't simplify them like this question number 3. So what we need to do, if we can't simplify it, and if we have unlike surd terms, leave that, do nothing. That would be your answer. You don't need to do anything, please. You can only simplify or solve it if we have like terms and all the requirements we need to simplify it for the surds one. So guys, now what you do, please attempt all these exam style questions from 1 to 13.
Please remember to use the method from the previous slides.
And remember that Mr. Saad
is the best teacher. And if you don't think so, you probably have COVID-19.
And you need to get a vaccine. If you don't think I'm the best, then you might have COVID-19. I'm 100% sure.
In this section, we will be multiplying brackets using surds.
Now, same method we use for expansion 1. How we do it is we're going to time first 2 with 3, then with 4, and then 4 with 3, and 4 with root 4. The same rules we used in expansion of brackets. The third one, it would be first one. Let me do 2 times 3 is 6. Then 2 times minus square root 4 is minus 2 root 4. So just like addition and subtraction one, when I'm going to times a number, whole number, with the third one, root 4, I'm not going to times 2 with whatever is inside the third. We'll just write it outside the third, 2 root 4. Yeah. Now the next one is root 4 times 3 would be plus 3 root 4, and root 4 times minus 4 would be just 4. Why just 4? Because root 4 times root 4, it has a power of half times half. Because as I told you before, this square root has a power of half. The value of that square root is 1 over 2. And whenever you times anything which is the same base, we add the power. 4 into half plus half is 1. How? Because 2 over 2 gives you 1. So we're gonna have. So please remember, whenever you are timings two surds which has the same everything same inside it, you can simply just write 4 like I did in this above question. Yeah. So root 4 times root 4 would be just 4. So you get rid of the surd. Why we get rid of the surd? Because the surd has a power of half. So when they times with each other, we add them together, which gives us 1 as the power. It's not only for the numbers, same goes for alphabets as well. So let's say if you got root a times root a, that would be just a, because a half times a half, when you add the powers after that, just gives you a to the power 1 a. So simply next time whenever you are timing surds, the like surds, you can simply write what is inside the surd when you're timing with the same one. Then after that, what you're going to do is you are going to simplify it. 6 minus 4 with like terms. 6 minus 4 is 2. 6 minus 4. Another important thing, please remember, the signs are always to the left of the surd, just like any other mathematical operation. 3 root 4 minus 2 root 4. What we're going to do, we're going to do 3. This 3 minus 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. So you don't need to write 1. You're just gonna write plus root 4 as your answer.